Mike Scully Show, yeah, worldwide. Loyal to the game, yeah, he reppin' with pride. So pull up a chair, turn the volume up loud. You rockin' with the best, we ain't never backing down. Yeah, the big man's still running the show, and that's a fact.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to the Mike Scully Show. Coming to you live from the Gentry Thomas Studios in beautiful Southwest Florida. And this is our Tuesday edition, March Madness. My boys are going to break down their brackets and give you the winners to make some money over the next couple weeks. Trying to really having a hard time keep my man Elliot in the seat because this is his Christmas. So let's get started. Studio.
What does Christmas feel like?
Yeah, I know. Stop it.
To you, this.
My man, the Hebrew Hammer.
This.
But along the side of Elliot, the Hebrew Hammer, I've got the hillbilly from West Virginia, Sean O'Rourke.
Mr. Scully, I'm tip-top. Yesterday was my national holiday, as we've already acknowledged. It's the Hammer's national holiday today.
Yes, he gets giddy with this. And then my ride or die from day one survived his birthday.
I did.
His born on name day.
My mama gave me that day.
So I'm glad to see you're in the chair.
Yes.
The St. Patrick's Day festivities were fun. Great time at the baseball game.
Absolutely.
Got to watch my kid hit a 3-run dinger last night in their big win over a team from California. So it was exciting. So we had lots of great stuff today. Well, let's delve into the world of college basketball. Be one of the probably the most watched period of college basketball watches the next 17 days, Elliot?
Without a doubt.
Well, and Thursday, Friday, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to get all the ratings. I mean, this is, I guess the NCAA wrestling goes on during the same thing, but does anybody actually care or watch other than our buddy Austin?
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
This is NCAA basketball time and then what you get that first week during championship is opening of Major League Baseball and everything else overlaps. But this weekend is wall-to-wall college basketball.
Our great friend of the show, Hogan Hatton, Detroit Lion, and his twin brother and his big father are out going to be in Vegas. It's one of the only other places you'd want to be during this time. They're going in Wednesday. They're going to be there for the first 4 days.
I'm deathly afraid of going out to Vegas for this.
Why is that?
Deathly.
But you don't gamble.
Well, but see, that's the issue is while I don't gamble, I know when my teams lose and I get frustrated. Right now, I can't gamble. You put me out in Vegas, bet, lose, drink, bet, lose, drink, bet, lose, drink. Like my life going down the drain.
Like a roulette wheel?
And I will end up at 3 a.m. betting on the camel races in Dubai and still losing.
Let's make sure we edit. We need to edit that out so Hard Rock Bet can't see that.
The jet will be on its way here.
Yeah.
We're gonna give you first class services.
Yeah.
I not to get off topic, but I had one Vegas experience a long time ago. I was out there with my mom and dad and went to bed at like 3 a.m. And all of a sudden I woke up. This woman next door is screaming at her husband because he has lost everything, maxed all the credit cards, all the cash. How are they going to get home? I mean, it was a matter of life or death, sad situation. And I was just like, holy crap. So
that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, we've had wins and losses out there.
Yeah.
But all right. Yeah. Well, we're going to get into picking brackets. We're going to go start off with the South region. We're going to let the man go first, the Hammer. What you got going on in the South?
Before we go into the South,
yes,
looking at
here we go.
Our good friend over here, especially wearing the jersey today.
We're going to address the elephant in the room?
You have to.
Okay.
We absolutely have to. It was criminal.
Listen, you get some wisdom imparted on you growing up in those hills and hollers, and I was told you never trust a man with 3 first names or a guy named Bubba with a first name. So
I thought it was 2 first names. I thought you could really trust a guy with 3.
You can't trust a guy with 3.
Well, then you can't trust me.
You know, I think, I didn't like the West Virginia governor coming out yesterday. I thought that was a little over the top. Look, I don't think West Virginia fans are incredibly upset that we didn't get into the dance. It was that UNC got in ahead of us. And what I didn't like about, and I know you've got a bunch of facts right there, Elliot, but something that jumped out to me, everyone knows about they only had 1 win. West Virginia had 6 quad 1 wins. But then they come out and they say 2 stupid things yesterday that, Tucker DeVries is not playing. Well, he hasn't played since December 6th. And then they go, well, UNC had 8 8-0 and quad 2 wins. Well, when the hell did that ever matter? I mean, I thought it was always the quad 1 wins that were matter. But I'm going to let you talk about the money that's involved, because you always say follow the money.
Can I ask one question, and not paying attention to this over the years, for my fault? But when the hell did the quad 1 win thing enter into this?
Well, every year you try to, the NCAA is constantly adjusting the metrics of how do they determine and the measurement. The concept of the quad 1, they look at 30 games against the top 30 when you're playing at home, top 50 in a neutral site, top 75 on the road.
Okay.
And in theory, that's to say this is the caliber of competition that you're going to see in the tournament. So how do you do against teams that are either playing in a difficult location or at home against teams that are of top caliber? That's why you look and say, all right, UNC went 1-12 in those games. UNC has won two games against teams that have made the tournament, one of which is American University. So all of those opportunities to play teams that were either in or likely to be in, and they couldn't win them.
They couldn't win them.
You look at West Virginia, and while you didn't love your governor coming out, your governor spat facts.
Oh, he was throwing fire out yesterday.
Serious facts.
Yeah.
3 wins against top 10 teams for West Virginia. 6 against quad 1. Meaning you are now playing either road games against very tough competitions and winning them. Proving that now when you get into this tournament, you have a chance to win.
Be effective. Okay.
Okay. So that's the concept. And now you've got a lot of new metrics and statistics and algorithms and all of those different things, so that it's not just strength of schedule and strength of opponent and all these other different things.
Well, let's talk about how much they really thought about the ACC. Maryland won 18 games in the ACC this year. I'm sorry, Louisville. You're right, Louisville. I apologize. I was looking at you thinking that. 18 games, Mr. Scully, and they're an 8 seed. So, you can't sit here and tell me that you respected the ACC as a conference this year, that the 8-0 quad 1. It's just, and I thought you were going to mention, whether you know this or not, Bubba got a $100,000 bonus for.
Yes, we're well aware of that.
Okay.
I told Elliot before any selection was made, before any games were played, going into, I think it was Thursday night, UNC was getting in simply because of the ratings and the money. And you looked at me as like, no, that's not going to happen, because the committee doesn't think about that, which I agree on the whole with you. But I called it on Thursday. They were getting in.
Yeah.
But then because you've got Ohio State.
Not as big as North Carolina.
And Indiana.
It's not as big as North Carolina. Did Michael Jordan go to Indiana or Ohio State? No, he went to North Carolina, whichever one associates him with. They are the blue bloods when it comes to college basketball. You have watched it far longer than me, so I will yield to you on that, my friend, sincerely. However, coming into it new, there's 2 teams, 3. There are 3 teams when I think of college basketball: Duke, North Carolina, and Kentucky. That is college basketball as a newer person into it than you, because I didn't watch it until I got into college. Those are the 3 basketball teams I know of for sure when I think of college basketball. And I'm a Gator fan.
And I will tell you, historically, the way you see Kansas historically represent the Big 12, and Kentucky historically represent the SEC. Indiana is Big 10 basketball.
Agreed.
Now, haven't been good for years, but they are the blue blood of the Big 10 and the upper Midwest for basketball.
Right.
Why do you think Hoosiers comes from the Hoosier state of Indiana?
Well, you could throw UCLA in there too, Elliot.
Absolutely.
We can.
I mean, if we want to go back to the 1970s and 60s, fuck it. Let's just go back to the 30s and see who was best then.
UCLA won in the late 90s.
We got to worry about keeping our coach, Elliot. That's what I'm more concerned
know.
about right now.
I don't think you have to lose. I don't think you're going to lose him to Iowa. To somebody else, maybe.
Indiana, maybe. So,
Indiana's last national championship was in the early 2000s. Yes?
No, 86, 87. Keith Smart.
I thought they won it in like 2002.
No, they lost it, the final, in 2002
That's what it was. Please tell me
the University of Maryland.
Oh, very nice. I was afraid it was North Carolina. I'm not going to lie.
But now that we have just ripped on North Carolina and not deserving to be in the tournament, let me caution you, fans at home, let me caution you. Just because you didn't deserve to get in does not suggest anything about performance. Let me take you back to 2011. A young Shaka Smart coaching at VCU, the last team to get in, makes the Final Four. First play-in game ever. makes the Final Four. So I'm not suggesting that UNC is going to make a run, but just because their resume should not have put them in this tournament does not mean that they are not capable of potentially winning some games.
And it will be the highest rated playing game to date, guaranteed, because it's UNC. And everyone hates that they're in.
It's also tipping off at 10 o'clock tomorrow night.
Right.
Yeah.
So who's staying awake for that?
Not me.
I think you'll see. I think it'll be the highest rated playing game there is.
All right. What do you got in the South, E?
All right, so we're going to go bracket by bracket. So let's go through the South. Auburn going to win first round game. Louisville, I got Louisville in the next round. Now, again, couple things to think about with Louisville. They are playing in Lexington at the University of Kentucky's home court. So you're going to get one of two things. It's local enough for them to be able to get there, but also when you're playing on your rival's court, there's plenty of people that are going to hate them and root against them. But I still have Louisville winning. And again, 18-2 conference record in, what they're saying is still a tough conference, and yet you're giving them an 8 seed. Not right. Next, I got UC San Diego beating Michigan. Michigan, amazing run through the Big Ten tournament. I think they are a tremendously dangerous team. However, committee did not do them any favors by giving them a 5 seed, they now have a 10 o'clock game out west. You're going to have very tired legs.
The dreaded
travel,
5-12 matchup.
Long travel, and UC San Diego, first year in D1 eligibility for the NCAA tournament. I think we got them there. Texas A&M, I think they're going to beat Yale. They're going to be a very tough game. Yale, their coach, James Jones, been there 26 years. I originally think he was going to be a hot coaching candidate. He's been there since 1999, taken them multiple times, beat Auburn last year. I don't think they do it again. I've got Ole Miss beating the winner of the Texas Xavier playing game. I got Iowa State beating Lipscomb, but be cautious here.
Ole Miss beating the San Diego State UNC winner.
No, we're not on the winners yet.
You
said Xavier.
Play-in.
Oh, sorry.
Texas is what.
Sorry, my bad. The printout that I got has it back.
We know what you meant, right?
Be careful with the Iowa State Lipscomb game. Iowa State's point guard out. They did not report this to the NCAA prior to the selection. Otherwise, it would have dropped Iowa State. I got Marquette beating New Mexico, and then Michigan State beating Bryant. If we keep moving forward, Auburn, Texas A&M. I got Ole Miss on the upset. Michigan State, Sweet 16, Auburn, and Michigan State. And going to the Final Four, I got Michigan State with the upset.
Coach Izzo. Okay. Hillbilly.
Okay. First game, obviously, we're going to go with Auburn. Next game, I'm going to go with Creighton. A little bit of an upset there. I think it's going to be a pretty tight game. I agree with Elliott, but I still went ahead and took Michigan. I think that will also be a very tight game. Texas A&M. Ole Miss beating the play-in. Iowa State. And my Mr. Delicious special, New Mexico, beating Marquette.
Oh, my God.
I'm saying it publicly. First to acknowledge it. And then Michigan State.
We will be clipping that and sending that directly to the Brown Hot.
That's why he did it. He doesn't believe Marquette's going to lose.
One of the things to point out about, you got New Mexico State with Richard Pitino, and you've got on Bryant coaching Phil Martelli Jr. So the sons of Hall of Fame coaches, or soon to be Hall of Fame coaches, stepping up and taking their teams
against
to the
each other. Yeah.
Hey, he took a shot for my boys not even getting in. So,
all right, what else you did? Keep going.
Keep firing, Sean.
Oh, we're going down to the west.
Yeah, go all
I'm sorry.
Stay down the
Stay in the
bracket.
South. Stay in the bracket.
Give me
Okay.
your Final Four.
Go all the way to the Final Four pick.
Oh, I got you. Okay. I got Florida winning their first round.
No.
game.
Your Auburn Creighton game.
Who's on first? What's on second?
Oh, we're
Second
doing the whole
round.
bracket. I'm sorry. Okay. I got Auburn beating
Did
Creighton.
you fall and hit your head?
Yeah. Listen, man, it was a long day yesterday. Get off my back.
I will second that motion.
Man,
It was a long morning.
why I got a water down here, not a beer. I got Michigan barely beating A&M. I've got Ole Miss upsetting Iowa State, and Michigan State being New Mexico. And then going into the Final 8, Auburn beating Michigan, and then Ole Miss upsetting Michigan State.
Nice.
And who goes to the Final Four?
Auburn.
I like it.
All right, Tricky, you're South.
All right, well, let me try to do a little bit more flair than these two guys did. Even though you gave great knowledge, it was phenomenal. Very impressed. If I could see the board, that would be great, gentlemen.
You have to open your eyes to see the board.
This is fair. Yes. On the screen, can I see the... thank you. So...
Just for public knowledge out there, after St. Patrick's Day, my boy is not one of Asian descent. We just have some wee closed eyes.
Wu-Tang. Anyway, so the number 1 overall seed will not skip a beat, and they will not stumble, will not pull a Virginia, and they will advance. The big boy, number 11 from Creighton, who's too tall for his own good, will overcome the horrible ACC runner-ups and the little Cardinals of the Louisville, because for the first time in my life, I'm glad I'm deaf because I can't hear the boos. Because that's all they're going to get on Kentucky's court. There will no be in between. They are going to get booed and booed and booed some more. The only way they might get more booed than they do right now is if Rip Pitino was still there. Moving on. I'm going to take Michigan because they're just playing too good right now. I do like the 12-5 upset, but Michigan's just on point. A&M will teach those men of Yale, the rowers, what's up, and they're going to show them how country boys in the South of Texas do things. Next up, Ole Miss, hotty toddy, gotcha, who the hell are we? Flim, flam, bam, bam. Ole Miss, by damn, is going to continue to move on because that's what they do once again in the South. Iowa State started off great. Everyone was giving them, anyway, hit a rut, continue to hit a rut. They suck. I wish I hadn't bet them to win the whole thing because they're not getting out of the first round. F.U. Lipscomb takes them.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. No, Iowa State is the most overrated team next to Houston, in my opinion, humble that it may be. They're the most overrated team, and with this kid getting hurt, they purposely didn't tell him he got hurt so they could get a higher seed so it'd be easier. So cheaters never win, Scully, ever. They never win. Iowa State going down in a blaze of glory. Next. Thank you. Then it's going to be Marquette just because I think Cam will be on fire. Michigan State will, Izzo's too strong for, you can't bet a team with a guy's first name. Auburn beats Creighton. They don't. I think they'll be able to match up with the tall guy with no problem. This is a flyer. This is a homer pick. It should be Michigan, but I'm going A&M because I want Michigan to lose. F them. Ole Miss gets the easy bye to the Sweet 16 because of the upset of Iowa State. And then Marquette is a tough fight. Michigan State wins on free throws. They advance. Auburn takes A&M. Michigan State takes Ole Miss. The hottie toddies die. And then the number 1 overall seed prevails to the Final Four.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the West Division. Elliot, you are back in the queue right now.
Scully,
entertaining, lads. Very entertaining.
you know you love the Ole Miss, and I knew that.
Toddy.
A lot of Big 12 bias over there.
All right, going. I think this is the absolute group of death out there in the West. I gave you the stat last week that there were 8 teams that could win this tournament.
9 or 8, doesn't matter.
9. There were 9. 3 are in the West, and that doesn't include St. John's. It was Maryland, Florida, Texas Tech. So just be careful there. This is an absolute group of death. So we're going to start with the UF Gators. First off, this is a tough bracket for me. I'm just going to state that from the get-go. Got UConn winning that game. So we got UConn over Oklahoma. With Memphis, again, another injury to their point guard, Tyrese Hunter. Be very careful. Dante Harris, backup player, also likely not to play. So I'm going to go with Colorado State there. Got the Terps advancing over Grand Canyon. But let me just tell you, Grand Canyon, 3rd consecutive trip to the tournament. Bryce Drew of the 1998 Valparaiso buzzer beater 3-pointer.
Against Ole Miss.
Father Homer Drew, coach that team. A lot of seniors on that team. They've got some height. Be careful. Just, hey, wore the shirt last week. I'm a Maryland guy, went there undergrad. Be careful. Tough first round game.
Well, I'll tell you, Grand Canyon's got their sports going on.
Yes, they do. Jerry Colangelo.
Yeah, I know. But their baseball, we're tied to their baseball program. They're always been great, but their women's basketball made it too. on the other side. So they've got it going on. They don't have football, but the sports they do, they have got it going on. Yeah.
A lot of money out in the desert.
Great school.
Going to the 5-12 match or 6-11 matchup, I got Drake winning. Couple things about Drake. You've heard the coach, Ben McCollum, came from Northwest Missouri State, brought 4 players, including Bennett Sturts with him. The last 4 years at Northwest Missouri State for this coach, 122-15, including 2 national championships.
That's all.
How you like them apples? Then I got Texas Tech beating UNC Wilmington. And then the final pod, look down here. You've got 3 coaches, Hall of Fame coaches in this pod. You got Bill Self, you got John Calipari with Arkansas, and Rick Pitino. I think Kansas is an absolute dumpster fire right now, but so I'll take Arkansas on that one. And then a Pitino Calipari second round matchup with St. John's going. It's going to be a very interesting second round matchup for them. I got Florida beating UConn. Right. I got Maryland beating Colorado State. I got Drake beating Texas Tech. I do believe in that pedigree a little bit.
Wow.
And then St. John's moving on. And this is now it's just awful. I got to pick between my two. Which kid do you like more? Maryland and Florida. Come on. This is brutality. Now, here's the thing. I know my man to my left is going to rip me. So here is the softball for you. Everybody in the world is picking Florida. Everybody. I love the way they're playing. Phenomenal team. I believe they are the best team in this country. But when everyone, and I mean, this is ESPN, this is CBS, this is, we'll go through everybody. When everybody's picking them, you know it doesn't happen that way. So I'm going to go with the upset and then pick my Terps. Hey, that's all right. I'll take it. And then St. John's, and then I'm picking my Terps and going into the Final Four. If you're going that far, you might as well.
Oh, you got to. Well done. Well done.
Right. I'm
hold on 1 second. Was there was crossover with Pitino and Calipari at Louisville and in Kentucky, right?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, they battled there.
Yeah. It'll be interesting then. Okay.
My boys hate the Big 12, dude.
Take home.
That's because they can't score. It's the most boring basketball to watch.
Their football usually scores more points than their basketball team.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, but
everybody
everyone
with the
loves
jokes
a,
today.
a
Their
grudge match.
sororities score when they come to the SEC, too.
And I'm sorry, West Virginia does not belong.
Jesus, man, I'm just getting brutalized today. And I also,
Country road.
and I do want to say to the faithful out there,
to a play.
we do not talk about these picks before we got here.
No.
Right? No, we have not discussed this. We didn't talk about it yesterday at all. So I don't want anybody to be surprised. It's scary how close Elliot and I are. So first round, obviously going with the Gators. I think in the next round, a very hard fought game, but I think UConn pulls it out. Very tight game. I think it's going to be a great game to watch.
I'd like to see Mr. Hurley go home early.
I also
Bye.
That rhymed.
Well, bye.
I also picked Colorado State on the upset. I went with your Terps, and I agree. Drake is an incredibly well-coached team. I have them upsetting Missouri. Texas Tech. Are Kansas beating Kansas? I agree with you. I think Kansas is a dumpster fire. They're overrated this year. And then St. John's. And moving up, I got Florida beating UConn. I got Maryland beating Colorado State. I have Texas Tech beating Drake. Another hard-fought game. I think it's going to be a great game to watch. And St. John's beating Arkansas. I think both those games are going to be incredibly close. They're going to be must-watch TV that day. I got Florida beating your Maryland Terps.
The Crab Five going down?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a chalk-heavy tournament. And then I got Texas Tech knocking off St. John's and Florida going to the Final Four.
Well done.
All right, and with a little rhythm and tempo,
Yes.
Mr. Trick,
So,
pick your bracket.
To Elliot's point, this is the group of death. I thought Florida got absolutely flat rocked and got a potato shoved down their throat. Not a big fan.
That's 4 in a row.
I guess it is. And,
But you're 1,000% right.
listen, Duke is homers. Everyone loves them. Like I made the point earlier with North Carolina, Duke, Kentucky is what I think of. Kansas actually was in that group. Well done. But they're going to get the love regardless, even though they played in a weak, to no fault of their own, but nonetheless, ACC this year.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to jump Duke without them losing simply because of the name. Auburn, toughest schedule, more quad one wins than ever. We love them, even though they dropped 3 of their last 4. Well, we're going to ignore that because of what they did before, and we've already said they're awesome, so we can't go against it. Fine. But how does Houston, no offense to the Big 12, how does Houston, who lost on neutral sites to Alabama and Auburn, 2 of their 4 losses, be the number 1 seed? Over Florida, who has the same number of losses, beat Alabama at home, beat Auburn at home, beat Alabama in the tournament.
I believe you meant they beat both of them on the road.
On the road, excuse me. Thank you, Elliot. Yes, sorry, I'm getting all flustered. Yes, on the road, not on a neutral site, not at home, on the road, beat them in Auburn, beat them in Tuscaloosa. The 2 teams they lost to of their 4 games. How in God's name is Houston ranked above them? And the reason why I say this, and it matters, is because if Florida is to go like everyone in the world, and to your point, I think they don't have a prayer to do it now because everyone picked them, and I want them to, and I'd pick them, but I'm with you. They don't have a prayer. They will have beaten, most likely, UConn, Maryland, and St. John's. There is no one that has a harder way to get to the Final Four than that. And on top of it, with the kick in the balls, they've got to do the Sweet 16 in San Francisco, which, with the exception of Seattle, as you elegantly pointed out, there is no further distance between Florida and San Fran than any other school has to go to. So they got absolutely I can't say what I want to say. They got screwed, and I'm irritated, but we'll run through the bracket.
And why does the NCAA pick San Francisco for a site?
It's a big arena. Yeah,
It's the brand new arena where the Warriors
I know,
play.
but San Francisco is such a shit city.
Well,
all right,
yeah.
keep going.
Yes.
Sorry.
So Florida advances. They do their part. UConn.
No pun intended on the shit city.
UConn is going to move on. They will not three-peat, but the Huskies will move. The favorite pick that everyone loves, and I didn't even know about the guys getting hurt, Colorado State. The Rams shove it in Memphis's behind. I'm going with the Canyon of the Grand to upset the Maryland Crab Cakes, because in Maryland they have 2 good things, Elliot, according to Wedding Crashers: crab cakes and football. That ain't basketball. They going down in the Blades of Glory. What's next? So then we've got, I like Drake, but I like Missouri. Drake may be a great coach team, but I don't think they have seen the physicality and speed that Missouri is going to bring them. I'm going to go with UNC Wilmington over Tech. Everyone's high on them. I like it just because it's a UNC and they get great ratings. Next. Arkansas over Kansas. St. John's goes. Omaha doesn't stand a chance. St. John's beats Calipari. They don't like each other, but he doesn't have the horses Rick Pitino does. I'm going with Missouri over the upset. It'll be easy walk. Colorado State will be the 1-12 into the Sweet 16. Florida wins over UConn. Hurley finally says bye with 2 rings. Florida takes Colorado State down. St. John's beats Missouri. And then Florida beats St. John's.
Excellent. All right. Well, that gets us halfway through. We'll take our first break. As we go to break, remember out there, we can't do it without you. So please follow, like, and subscribe to the Mike Scully Show. A big shout out to Frank Papasaduro at Jan Pro of Southwest Florida. Give us a call at 224-239-9333. And we'll be back in just a minute to pick the other 2 brackets. The Mike Scully Show. Well, welcome back to the Mike Scully Show. And again, thank you to our man, Frank Papasaduro at Jan Pro, Southwest Florida, Commercial Custom Cleaning. We'll be back now into the bracket breakdown. Elliot, that was a very entertaining first 2 brackets, gentlemen. Great job.
Thank you.
We're going to start off in the...
I'm glad they don't tape the breaks. I really am.
No, actually, believe it or not, Gentry's doing that, and we're going to put out a bleepers, bloops, and blunders reel. You hear some of that crap going on.
That's about what it's like.
Yeah. But start us off in the East, Elliot.
Big question about Duke. How's their health? Right, Malik Brown with the shoulder problem. I don't think he's coming back. Certainly not this weekend.
Will it be a week before Flag plays?
They say he's eligible to play. Rumor is that he's not going to play the first half. If they need him in the second half, he'll be eligible to play. Maybe get him some run, but not the normal run that he would get normal day.
The question I have, and I have not paid attention to the injury. I know it was an ankle. Was it high ankle?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
No. So
Because
they'll
if
tape it up and
There's a huge difference in those two injuries.
Yeah, but then you're scared. I mean, not he's a grown man. I don't mean that like he's afraid.
But high ankle sprains
But
linger, Patrick.
when you're hurt and you play it, you favor it. You whether you realize it subconsciously, you have to do it because of the pain.
I still do it now when I'm not playing with my knee. It's why my knee hurts so damn
There you
bad.
go.
All right, let's get back on task here.
So my
Sorry.
question with Duke is always going to be about their health. Not in the first round game, they're going to blow out whoever wins the play-in game. But again, to go to what does the committee love Duke or not? First two games in Raleigh, the next two games in Newark. These are like home games for Duke. Duke always plays games in New York City to just play to their base, to where they've got a big enough fan base. So Duke in to win the first game. I got Baylor over Mississippi State. I got Oregon over Liberty and Arizona over Akron. I'm sorry, I got Akron over Oregon. Akron over Arizona. Be careful here. Akron, very good team, being able to make that jump. But think about what could be happening, could be possible. You could have an Oregon-Arizona second-round game. If I told you guys 5 years ago that Oregon and Arizona are not in the same conference and neither of them are in the Pac-12, you guys would have looked at me like I've got three heads. So
Exactly.
little odd that these rivals could be playing again in the second round. I got VCU, another 11 seed advancing. One of the stats on 11 seeds. 11 seeds are 29 and 27 straight up since 2011. 29 and 27 straight up.
Damn.
Yeah. Take that there for your bets, boys.
Absolutely.
So I got VCU over BYU. I got Wisconsin over Montana. I got Vandy beating St. Mary's. Now, one of the things with St. Mary's, Aiden Mahaney left St. Mary's after leading them to the tournament a couple consecutive years. They made it for 4 straight years. Left to go to UConn, and they still won the WCC regular season by 3 games and made the WCC final, made the tournament, the NCAA tournament for the 4th straight year. And then I got Alabama advancing. Couple things. One of the things with Alabama, just be cautious of the health of Grant Nelson. Something to think about. But again, also to shout out Vandy, Mark Byington made the tournament last year as their coach at James Madison. Took a team that Vandy was always the doormat of the SEC basketball-wise. First year gets them to the dance. This could be a coach to be able to watch coming forward.
Okay.
We go into the second round. I got Duke beating Baylor, Oregon over what I thought Akron, Wisconsin over VCU, and Alabama going. I got Oregon upsetting Duke in the Sweet 16. Again, I think that's more a health thing with Duke. Oregon was a top 10 team early in the year, hit a streak, lost, I believe, 7 straight games, looked like they were absolutely dead, came on strong late.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're starting to capture it again. Dana Altman knows what he's doing with that team. A lot of experience out there, and I got them going into the Sweet 16 against Alabama. I got Alabama going out into the Final Four.
Okay. Hillbilly?
All right. Well, I got some upsets in this bracket here. First game, we got Duke moving forward. I agree. We got to watch the health on that, but I still like them. I've got Baylor in a really tight game against Mississippi State. I've got Oregon beating Liberty. I got Zona over Akron. I got BYU beating VCU. Whiskey over Montana. Vanderbilt over St. Mary's. And Roll Tide. And then moving into the second round, I've got Duke beating Baylor. I also have Oregon beating Arizona. And I think it's going to be a great matchup in this next round. And I think it's going to come down to who's got more white guys that can shoot threes. I'm going with BYU over Wisconsin.
May I jump in for
Yeah.
one of my favorite dollar bets during the week? Will there be a whiteout? Will we see 5 white guys on the court?
It'll be in that game.
Likely to be seen.
I've got Roll Tide over Vandy in a very tight game. I think that's going to be an excellent matchup. I think they faced each other already once this year. I think Duke's going to be healthy by this time. I've got them beating Oregon, and I've got Alabama over BYU, with Alabama upsetting Duke and moving on to the Final Four.
I like it.
All right, Sunshine, it's your turn. You're in the queue.
Woohoo! Well, Duke's going to advance because they're Duke and they're playing a home game. I mean, a neutral site game. So they're going to advance. I have Mississippi State surprising Baylor and taking them down. I also have let it ring. The Liberty Bell is going to ring. They're going to beat Oregon and surprise the entire tournament. I just feel it. Do you like Akron? A little note on them. The last 10 games, I think they are averaging 92 points a game. Now, granted, it's not necessarily against the Arizona team, which I think they will have a hard time matching up with the bigs Arizona has. But I think if they're hitting their threes, the bigs won't matter because there won't be anything to rebound. And I think they're going to run them out of the gym, and Arizona just won't. They'll be winded. They won't be able to keep up with them. I like VCU over BYU. I don't know why, but I do. Wisconsin's going to take them down. Big Ten's representing. Vanderbilt is going to take out St. Mary's, no question. In my opinion, they're just bigger, stronger, faster, and they have made it 4 years in a row. They don't have in my opinion, they don't have the star power they need to match up and go deep. I think you saw that in Gonzaga because some of the guys in the tournament championship, because some of their guys got in foul trouble and they didn't have it.
How about 1 for 31 combined? Gonzaga St. Mary's from 3 in the West Coast Conference Championship game. Combined 1 for 31.
Oh, so they missed 33 pointers?
Correct.
Wow.
St. Mary's didn't hit one because I had him in that game.
So just for that reason, I'd say death to St. Mary's. So, and then the last game is Alabama. They will advance because it's high tide. And they're going to high tide their way all the way through because they're going to beat Vandy because it's going to be a normal deal.
That Nazi symbol you just raised that arm there?
Well, it was left, not right.
Okay.
We're okay.
Wow.
And I didn't hit my chest first. So yes, Alabama will take down Vanderbilt. The Commodores are not as cool as the band in the 70s, and they go down. Wisconsin will take out VCU. The 3-letter team their run ends there. Man, this is tough because the Zips, are they going to ring the bell or are they going to get rung? I'm going to go with the Zips here. I don't think Liberty can keep up with their offense. Duke, boring. Duke beats the Zips. Alabama will take Wisconsin. The Badgers go down. They get trapped in a hole and eat themselves. And then Bama will take it to the Dukies. Not when they actually have to play a real team that's on a neutral site, not at home.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
All right. We got that. So we've got another SEC team in the in the Final Four. Let's move and transition to the Midwest there, Mr. Elliott.
We got Houston starting off against that SIU Edwardsville. We talked about the coach cutting down with the scissors. It was a really nice story there. I got Gonzaga beating Georgia. Even though Georgia is improving under Florida's old coach, they've got what's likely going to be a lottery pick in Asa Newell. But Gonzaga's made 9 consecutive Sweet 16s. Even in a down year, they still won the WCC tournament. So, be cautious there.
Mark Few's done an unbelievable job.
I got McNeese beating Clemson. Again, I think the ACC, again, the committee said we don't like the ACC, but we're going to let in UNC. I think it's a down year for them. McNeese State will wade. Now, I wouldn't be comfortable handing the guy my wallet or having my wife near him, but the man can recruit and the man can coach. Can't follow a rule, but my man can coach. I got Purdue beating High Point. Purdue has a Big Ten Player of the Year in Braden Smith. Made the final last year. Their shooting can be scorching hot. So a lot of things to like about Purdue. I got Illinois against the Texas Xavier winner. I got Illinois moving on. Big thing about Illinois, who's going to show up? Is it the team that's gotten blown out 4 times in the last 3 weeks? Or the team that can just literally
the team that's
won
by 40 though 3 times in the last 4 weeks.
So you got to be careful there. I got Kentucky over Troy. Now, one of the things with UCLA, so Kentucky. Remember, Oakland beat them last year as a 3-14. New coach, new team, 62nd tournament appearance for Kentucky. Talk about blue blood. That's ridiculous.
Absolutely, 100%.
So yeah, I got Kentucky there. I like UCLA over Utah State, but another thing to be careful with, Mick Cronin, rumored to be going to Villanova. Does this become a distraction for the team? But the other thing, they're an under the radar team. They started really slow. They still finished 4th in the Big Ten. I think they're, that concept of the West Coast bias, nobody actually watches West Coast basketball. Very easy to lose them, but still to finish 4th in a highly competitive Big Ten, they've got some players. And then Tennessee beating Wofford. Again, my man from Wofford, underhanded free throws. Nice one to catch. Guy looks like he's 80 years old.
We have a little special feature going on him before that game.
But Tennessee, great coach, senior point guard, depth, height, defense, a lot of pieces. Maybe seeing them winning a couple more rounds.
Okay.
Foreshadowing there, Elliot.
I got to keep going.
You got to keep going.
Looking over at me.
I love the suspense.
I was like,
A cliffhanger, if you
Like,
will.
what did I miss?
I think Gonzaga makes it 10 in a row. I think I got them beating Houston. They're not going to be intimidated by them. I got Purdue over McNeese. I got Illinois beating Kentucky and Tennessee over UCLA. I got Purdue to the Elite Eight and Tennessee, and then Tennessee to make the Final Four.
Okay.
Wow.
Another SEC team. All right, Hillbilly. Transitioning to you, my brother.
Again, similar, but I got a little different, some upsets, and your guys' Big 12 bias is showing again. Obviously, Houston in the first game.
Big 12 bias.
Boring.
Yeah, I think another great first round matchup, as Elliot pointed out, Gonzaga, Georgia. I think it's going to be a fantastic game, but I think the Zags will pull that off and advance. I also have McNeese State upsetting Clemson in the first round. Purdue over High Point. And here's where my big man over here is not going to be happy with me, but you guys already brought it up. Hey, which team, Illinois team, are you going to see show up?
Shut up. Make the pick. Let's go.
I got X advancing over Illinois. I've got Kentucky beating Troy, UCLA over Utah State, and Tennessee moving forward against Wofford. In a great second round matchup, I got Houston beating the Zags, Purdue over McNeese. I have X beating an overrated Kentucky team. Moving forward. And then I've got another great second round matchup, Tennessee in a really tight game against UCLA. And moving forward, Houston takes out Purdue. Tennessee knocks off Xavier, and Houston moving on to the Final Four.
Okay.
Look at this guy.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Well done, Sean. Well done. Beautiful.
All right. Bring us home in the West, Trickster. Midwest, Trickster.
I will do that. Houston actually wins a game because they're number 1 seed. The Big 12 finally gets a win. Good for them. I'm going to go with Georgia. Mike White, as you pointed out, was Florida's old head coach. They beat Florida on their home court, albeit by, I think, 3. They had a huge lead, lost it, but they came back and they showed resilience to come back and retake the lead against Florida and beat them. The thing about White I don't like is that he had to leave Florida because he was such a pansy that he was getting his feelings hurt because he didn't like how brutally rough the fans were at him when he wasn't winning. So he's kinder, gentler in Georgia, apparently, which is good. That should help him out, which is what he needs. And I think they surprise the Zags and take them down. Then you have, let's see. I like Clemson. I know it's a 5-12, but I think they're actually one of the better teams in the ACC. Purdue advances. I don't think we have a flashback of last year.
You mean making the final? Or 2 years ago when they lost?
2 years ago when they lost. Yeah, it's a number 1. They lost.
Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. See, this is why Elliot needs to be here to kind of keep me in line. He's like my bumper on bumper cars. I bump into him and he gets me back on the line. Thank you. Yes, that's exactly what I meant, Elliot. Perfect. That's
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, there's no I in team, but there's an M-E. Anywho, so, oh man, this one is tough, Scully. Today, not knowing who they're playing, I'm going with Illinois. Give me the Illini. They're a good team.
Statistical advantage.
Yes.
You don't have to win 2 games to win that one. You only got to win 1.
That is correct. So I'm going to go with Illinois there. Kentucky beats one of the 3 Alabama schools in the tournament. Troy goes down in flames. Kentucky runs the train on them. I am going with Utah State. I think they will upset UCLA. They won their tournament obviously to get in. I like them. I think they are a cohesive unit. I watched them play in the final because I bet against them, and to my chagrin, they actually pulled it off. So I'm gonna go with the upset with Utah State. Tennessee wins, not a problem. Tennessee advances again. Sorry, this is where the Illinois run dies. Kentucky is going to go.
No, it died last week on the floor against Maryland Crab 5.
There you go. Fair enough. So then I've got, I'm taking Clemson over Purdue. And then I've got Houston coming down. Houston advances over Clemson. Tennessee beats Kentucky because Kentucky just doesn't have the horses to play in the SEC. Houston finally gets exposed. And Tennessee, Houston wins there. They beat Clemson. And then Tennessee for an all SEC tournament Final Four. Tennessee goes.
That's wonderful.
That is wonderful. That's a sight of beauty if this happens. Oh my God. I will walk around with a tripod for a week.
And you're calling me a homer?
100% homer. No. Hey. 100. No. I didn't throw stones in a glass house. Oh, wait. Yeah, I threw a boulder.
You have, we talked about 3-person names or 3-name person, whatever it is.
3 first names.
It's Joseph Patrick Homer Leslie.
That is it.
Nope. So, all right, great job, boys. All right. We're going to go to our next break. We want to give a big shout out to Bob Hamer, his beautiful wife Ruta at Coastal Title. You're closing on a house out there in Sanibel. Bobby's got the best title company in Southwest Florida. We'll be back in just a minute with final thoughts on this March Madness, Hoop Madness Tuesday before the tournament starts. Thanks for following. Please follow, like, and subscribe to The Mike Scully Show. We'll be back in just 1 minute. Well, welcome back to the Mike Scully Show. We're going to finish up here with our final 4 picks. Elliot, give me your final 4, your semifinal, and who wins the whole thing.
I know we've had our enjoyment picking our brackets, but here's my last piece of advice for everybody picking brackets at home. Only once, 2008, have all 4 number ones made it to the Final Four. Elliot. That was UNC Tyler Hansborough's team that won it all that year. Will not happen, does not happen. Do not chalk your way through.
Oh, I didn't chalk. I just SEC'd.
It has 3 letters in it.
So I've got Alabama, Tennessee on the right side. I got Tennessee beating Alabama. Still, I'm torn on what to do here. They are my boys. Michigan State only beat us at home by a buzzer-beating 3-pointer from 3-quarter court. I think this Michigan State team is loaded. This is the 3rd time since 2000 Michigan State has won the Big Ten and not had a player scoring in the top 30 of the conference. They've got 7 guys scoring 7 points a game or more, only 2 in double digits, 12 and 12.7. They've got height, they've got guard play, they've got future NBA pros, they've got a Hall of Fame coach. Michigan State making over Maryland, kills me to say it. And we got a Michigan State Tennessee final, and I got Tennessee
winning the
cutting
whole
down
thing.
the nets.
Wow.
A number 2 seed, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, they're both number 2 seeds.
Follow that up,
I
Hillbilly.
knew I couldn't get it wrong.
Well, I've got,
See what I did there?
Auburn and Florida in the first Final Four. And unlike everyone else in the country, I'm going to have I think both these games are must watch, the Final Four this year. I got Auburn in a very tight game against Florida. And on the other side, Big 12 represents and beats number 2 Roll Tide to roll into the finals against Auburn, and Auburn taking the title. Best team in the country, been it all year. I think they're going to show it moving through the tournament. I got Auburn winning it.
Okay, Trickster.
Au contraire, mon frère.
We got 2 SEC winners. Will there be a third one coming from that chair?
Well, seeing as how all 4 of mine are SEC, I'm going to have to say that's a hard yes. And no, Auburn has not been the best team all year. They have up to the last 2 weeks, and Florida has eclipsed them as the best team in the land for the last 2 weeks. So therefore, Florida takes it and beats them for this 2020 second time that you beat them. Where is the Final Four played this year?
San Antonio.
San Antonio.
Okay, awesome. The Alamo. Fantastic.
Check out the basement.
Yeah, I heard it's good. If there's a hole in the basement. Oh, unless you're going to do it. I'm going to go with Bama. Tennessee just plays too slow. I think the pace of play will do much better. And I'm going to go with the entire world, but I was doing this before the entire world followed my coattails. Florida wins.
I have come here to chew bubblegum
I love that line.
and kick ass.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
All right, so we have a... all 4 of us are on the SEC because I picked in my bracket, I picked Florida to win the whole thing.
Nice.
So I had Florida and Tennessee in the finals. All right, final thoughts, gentlemen. We're going to start off. Hillbilly, you were on fire last week.
Yes, you were.
Our social media has been ablaze from you, my friend.
Well, thank you. I'm going to follow up on probably on one of the more popular clips, Rory McIlroy. Okay, and it became a great debate with the brethren yesterday at the baseball game. Some people felt that the kid was way out of line. The discussion became that golf is a gentleman's game. You don't heckle players. You don't. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? I said, we're standing at a baseball game and these guys are just getting blistered all game long. Look, golf's changed in my mind, and it's happened with the Waste Management Tournament. It's happened with the Ryder Cup, and especially with LIV. If you watch these, people are watching LIV more and more. These guys are pumping the crowd up. They want them yelling. They want them, creating some noise, and they're having fun with it. And the guys that are excelling with it, like Lefty, are the ones that interact with their fans. And Rory doesn't do that. I mean, that guy's got the personality of a gnat. And what really kind of upset me about all this is we abide by the code of the locker room. And Scully, I've known you. You have done it to a T. I know you've got a story that will absolutely destroy him, but you're not going to cross that line until it gets to that point. The kid, it was on Wednesday. It's on a Pro-Am, guys. It's not like this was a live event. It's not like he said something out of bounds. And we've got some rules with that. You don't talk about someone's family. You don't curse at him, and you don't make it personal and cross that line. The kid did none of it. All he did was say, you hit one in the water, 2011 Master, and you go over and take the kid's phone and turn it into security. It's not a pro move. And listen, if you can't be a pro, this is what you signed up for, then just put the fries in the bag. And by the way, I had to do some research and find out what the number one fast food place was in Ireland, and it's Super Mac. So
we're putting fries in the shot. You got to see that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got him up there.
Hey, I just wish he'd stand up when he talked to the press.
Look, guys. But here's a real problem I have with him. Okay, you can't use social media to your advantage and then clam up. They asked him about the incident the next day, and he goes, "I'm not going to answer that question." You can't use social media when it suits you and then clam up when everything's going against you. That's that's just another thing to his character in my mind. So,
how dare you?
Real quick on that, what changed golf was Happy Gilmore. That movie put the idea in people's heads of this is what it should be like. And that was the first baby step, if you will. And then the Waste Management basically became Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, and to his point, the Ryder Cup has gotten a little overzealous in the crowds.
But what do you think, Scott? I mean, let's be honest though. Tiger's starting to fade out, and if golf wants to stay relevant, and I think Lefty and Bryson and some of these, they do a fantastic job interacting with fans.
You can talk about the Ryder Cup. You can talk about Tiger. The thing that changed the entire world is this thing.
Yeah.
Because Twitter or X, Instagram, everybody has a voice. Keyboard warriors.
With no consequence.
With no consequence.
Well, but also remember 2 things. Happy Gilmore 2 trailer came out today. July 25th release.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good one to see.
And I think the kid picked up 10,000 followers on his Instagram.
But the other thing to realize, and this is the WWE-ism of the world, it doesn't matter whether you get cheered or booed, it's you get a reaction.
Exactly.
If you shut down the reaction, you're shutting down the audience.
Agreed.
You could get you should be rooting for people to hate you. You should be rooting to play the villain. That's a good thing if people are commenting and getting clicks and getting likes and really present that personality, not this where this stodgy Judge Smales. That's not going to work.
No, yeah. I just wish when he gets up in the morning and he goes to step up on his step stool to brush his teeth, that he looks in the mirror and sees
Agreed.
a different person.
Well, you make a great point there, Scully. This guy, that kid won the 54 medalist at the NCAA tournament across the street the day before. Now, who should this kid be looking up to? He should be looking up to a Rory McIlroy.
Yeah.
And he's not. So if I'm Rory, I'd be looking in the mirror and going, what the hell am I doing? Not going, there's a brown Audi in my parking spot.
Not standing up. That's one thing he's doing.
yeah. He just so badly wants to be Tiger. All right, Elliot. The Hammer Chronicles.
We're going to take a hard left on that.
Sorry, but I went a little over my time. there.
We're not worried about timing. This is we're getting real personal on this one. March 19th, 2003, shock and awe, we start bombing Iraq. The next 2 days later, Drew Nicholas for Maryland hits the running corner shot to beat UNC Wilmington the year after we win the national championship. I'm watching the game with my brother. We watched every game of the NCAA tournament that weekend. That started our NCAA tournament journey. Since then, minus the COVID year, we have gotten together. There's been a group of 6 to 8 of us that have been together through everything. Births of kids, marriage, parents passing away, businesses opening, businesses closing, health challenges, you name it, ups and downs of the world. We've been together for everybody. And we're showing a couple pictures of me and my boys. This is the first year we're not getting together. My buddy Jay has a new round of chemo starting Thursday morning, 5th bout of cancer. So Jay, keep up the fight. My brother can't make it this year. He's got things that he's got going on. So, you know, the crew it's a tough one not being together. And I love the Jimmy V line. You know, 3 things makes, a full day. If you can laugh, you can cry, and you can think. Well, for us, we always change it to, if you can laugh, if you can cry, and you can drink. That's a great March Madness.
And you can place a dollar bet.
So I will be together with my crew here. We'll be enjoying a few adult beverages, but this is my love letter to my guys that I can't be with this year. So
God bless you, Elliot.
Yeah.
Boy. All right. We've had a fries in the bag. We've had a touching moment. What sans thy paper?
The NIT, which stands for the Not Invited Tournament, which is ironic as hell because that's what sans my paper. The school I went to that I'm an alumni of was offered a bid to the...
That would be the University of South Alabama.
USA. As we've said, I'm very patriotic. I don't know what to tell you. Got invited to the NIT and then got uninvited to the NIT, the Not Invited Tournament. It blows me away how they could extend a bid because one school said they were out. So they extended to someone else. Then the other school says, no, we were just kidding. Just jokes, you got jokes. We got jokes. We're good. We're coming. And then for them to have the balls to go to the university and those players who didn't have a great year, but played good basketball at times. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Bye. That is just dirty and wrong to those coach, to the kids, to the coaching staff, to the university for them to do that. Who makes that? The only way I think I'd be okay with it is whoever made the mistake gets fired publicly.
Okay.
And that's what sans my paper is ignorance of people in basketball.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
That's our trademark sign off to the sans my paper.
That is correct.
Well, as we get ready to sign off from the Mike Scully Show for this week, from our March Madness, Hoop Madness special, I have a special shout out to my friend Big Cat up there in Chicago. I've been a big fan for a long time, you and Barstool Sports. We're an upstart podcast. We put out a challenge out there, my 3 guys against your 3 best guys bracket challenge. Losers buy dinner at Gibson's up there in Chicago. When we win, we'll make the trip to come up and eat with you because we ain't losing. But accept the challenge, big fella. I'm coming looking for you.
Oh, yeah!
And one more shout out to my kid, Jack. Keep pounding that baseball, son. I'm very proud of you. That's this week's Mike Scully Show. We'll be back next week on our normal Thursday time slot from the beautiful Gentry Thomas Studios here in Southwest Florida. We'll see you next week.
Gulf of America.